I think probably the biggest lesson for most of us is that if it could happen in a sweet little elementary school in a sleepy little New England town, it really could happen anywhere. We are living in an uncertain world, and it's our job to do the best we can to keep ourselves safe and the people around us safe.
As soon as this story broke, I thought of Michele Gay. Michele Gay is one of the two founders of an organization called Safe and Sound Schools, and she joins us right now on Talk Radio 680 WCBM. Michele, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, you have a difficult backstory, but I think it's important for people to understand that this is not something you thought would be a good commercial venture. This is something you began out of passion. We began these Safe and Sound Schools back when and after what event?
Yeah, after the tragic loss of our youngest daughter, Josephine, at Sandy Hook School, December 14th, 2012.
Police quickly converge on the school, secure the perimeter, and start a painstaking search for the shooter.
The police came in. It's like, is he in here? Then he ran out.
That included checking every door, every crack, every crevice, every portion of that school. Our main objective was to evacuate as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Have you been injured in an automobile accident? Call the law offices of Michael A. Friedman today for a free consultation. 410-363-6848. Let the experts at the law offices of Michael A. Friedman handle your case. Call today, 410-363-6848.
Now, since that time, you've worked as an advocate on improving safety and security in schools and communities across the country. What kind of reception have you had?
You know, it's been amazing. It's been healing, to be honest with you. And that's something to say on a day like today, because this is tough. You know, it's tough for all of us, I think. No more, of course, than the families, the beautiful families who've lost children and loved ones in the community of Uvalde. But you know, the work that we do is often quiet. You know, in communities, it's not flashy or splashy. It's just the hard work of helping communities hold together their resources, all hands on deck, right? Parents and students, educators, law enforcement, mental health folks, to really develop a comprehensive, sustainable plan for preventing, responding to, and unfortunately, on days like today, recovering from a school-based crisis.
Was this difficult for you? Was it echoes of Sandy Hook for you?
It is every time. This one, though, is just hauntingly similar, and our hearts are just especially broken for the families.
Yeah, to see the families showing up, wanting simply to save their children and being prevented from doing so in some cases.
Yeah, one of my friends back home in Sandy Hook. You know, it's another home. Originally a Baltimore girl, but you know, she said it's like reliving those days. And she's right. I mean, just watching it unfold, watching them, move through these horrific moments in slow motion, just like we did. It's just, it really does take you back in time.
Okay, now when you talk about a sustainable program, what are you talking about?
So, you know, I think when there are horrific tragedies like this, really of any kind in a school community, whether it's an act of violence like this or natural disaster, some of our schools are dealing with, you know, wildfires and floods. You don't necessarily always hear that on the news, but, you know, there are generally calls for action, and I think that's just a human response. We want to fix it right away so that we can all feel better. But the reality is, when we're talking about human-made threats like this, acts of violence, it takes a lot of work on the front end, prevention programs, social emotional learning programs, mental health resources, school counseling programs, you know, lots of work on the front end for prevention and lots of training and education to help staff and students know how to respond, you know, if they're ever confronted with a danger or a threat. And then, of course, the hard work for the longest haul, which is the recovery piece. And a lot of people, a lot of schools aren't planning for that piece. And it's just so critically important, as we're seeing now.
Michele, do you talk about hardening the schools at all?
I never say hardening. I get where that term came from, and I fully embrace that we need to be, equipping our schools, the students and teachers that live in those buildings every day. They need to be able to lock their doors. We have a lot of modern technology nowadays that supports processes, like access control, where strangers can't just walk into the building and on the campus. All of those things are really critically important. Those are all part of school safety and a part of this sustainable plan that I'm talking about here, but they're just part of it. And I think that's where a lot of school communities struggle, is in being able to create a truly comprehensive approach to school safety, and that's what we offer at Safe and Sound Schools.
Did your heart break when you found out that this guy simply walked in through an open door?
I am hoping and praying that is not true. I still am. That just kills me. We're all human. I understand it's not perfect all of the time, but it is just especially heartbreaking that that he was able, potentially. We're not sure. It's early days. There's a lot more information to come out. But wow, if that is the case, that's just another layer of heartbreak for these families.